This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Welcome everybody to the September 2025 Commission on Disability meeting. First, we're going to skip what we normally do, and we have a lovely volunteer who said they would be, what is the official name? Because we've called it secretary, but it's been clerk too.
Yeah.
You okay with clerk? All right. So I'm gonna make a motion to vote that you be our clerk. Can I have a second?
I don't know if we have quorum.
We 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, okay.
So,
I guess we do have quorum.
We do.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So you could put Louise down for first, and then do we all agree? Are we all okay with Leslie being?
All right.
Yes. Wonderful. That's your first order of business, is voting yourself in. This is truly going to be very, very helpful, because me trying to run the meeting and take notes, I feel like there's some things I would just like our minutes to look a little better. Eli and I were doing our best. We're struggling in the deep water.
It's hard to do both.
So let's just go over roll call. Are we missing anybody? Stan is not here.
Louise is not
Yes.
here.
Louise
Oh,
is
he's
right
right
there.
in front of you,
She is? Oh,
on the other side of the computer.
Other side.
oh. Oh, there you are. Hi. Sorry, I didn't see you.
I think that's, oh, no, Bruce is not here. He said that he
That's
wouldn't
right.
be here. Okay, and then public speak, we do not have anybody for public speak. Connie, are you here for public speak? No, didn't think so. And then as far as speaker, we're not gonna have a speaker today. The hotline, the 988 hotline is who was supposed to come last month, and then there was a little mix up. And then, they said they could come this month, but then I don't know what happened. Like, they just kind of didn't get back to me until yesterday to confirm. And then they kind of just said, well, could we have November? And I was like, oh, no. Like, sure, you can have November. So we don't have a speaker, but that's okay. We have other things that we can chat about.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I probably will have a lot of questions this first time.
Yep.
When I'm taking the notes, do I list the board members who are here, or do I list everybody who's here?
Both, but separately. And they're
Both,
they're
but
commission
separately.
members. They're not board people often say board
Commission
members, but
members.
yeah, we're not a board. So we've done it different ways. Sometimes we do just do like a little separate thing where like, but not everybody identifies themselves. So like, if someone was just sitting there and they didn't want to give their name or came online, like we couldn't list. But
My name's Leslie. Sorry.
Leslie. And so, yeah, so for instance, right, Connie's technically not a commission member, but yes, I would love for you to put that, but just in like a separate area.
Okay. And so to that end, I'm not sure what your name
Hi.
is.
My name is Maddie.
Maddie.
Yes.
And last name?
Last name's Palmer. I'm yeah, I didn't really get to introduce myself to you all last time, but I am
I was just about to have you do that.
yeah, sorry. Okay, so I am the assistant city clerk. And so I'm filling in for Dylan, who's obviously been with you guys before, and is touching on some of the like planning aspects of what this board, or not board, commission deals with. But yeah, so I'm here to sit in for him and yeah, have a vested interest in what you guys do, and yeah, just looking forward to helping however I can.
Thank you.
I'm just going to ask Bryce, do you spell your name with a Y or an I?
Why?
Oh, why?
And what's your last name?
Lauren. Lawrence.
I thought it was plant, isn't it?
It's Lance. Yeah. It's my dad's last name. so I
L.A.
guess.
L-A-N-T.
I was like,
And
did I-
then do I put you down as like a,
Yes.
as,
Yes.
okay. And can I have your name?
Jennifer. I'll spell my last name.
Thank you.
Sokolowski. Sokolowski from Riverside Industries.
Thank you very much. And then next time I won't have to ask that.
Okay.
The plant has an E, doesn't it, at the end?
Yes.
Yes. Aren't you the? So the first thing that we were gonna talk about is some of us had a meeting with the Chamber of Commerce. Connie, is that why you're here to chat about it?
Yeah, just here to, if you need me to, but really, you all were there too, right? So you can talk about it. I just wanted to be,
I would love for you to chat about our meeting with the Chamber of Commerce. Go, take it away.
oops, sorry, I couldn't hear that. What was that?
And I would love for you to do that. Yeah, like, go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, so I think the initial idea for you all was to create an ordinance. And so we've met with the LGBT Q Chamber and talked about kind of what it would look like for us to partner. And then we also spoke with the Greater Easthampton Chamber to talk about, what would that look like for us to be able to, again, kind of partner. If we were to write an ordinance, obviously it would be really difficult if we had an ordinance to enforce it, if we were talking about businesses and things like that. But maybe there's a way for us to be able to partner with them in terms of how to make their businesses more accessible, whether it's with events or any other things that you all kind of think about. But one of the things that John, the CEO, had said was that at his next meeting, he could reach out and just kind of put some feelers out for what that might look like. And at the same time, this group talked about maybe there's some things that we could do to be able to support businesses in terms of providing them kind of guidelines or information about what it could look like to make businesses more accessible, particularly around events and things like that. So that was kind of the general gist of that. And so if anyone else had anything else they can add that. But I think that was the initial thing. And so I think the group was going to come back here today and maybe talk about that a little bit in terms of brainstorming what might that look like for this commission to, put together some best practices or points of around guidance to businesses that they could, particularly new businesses or old businesses, right, that they could employ, right, when they are doing events and things like that.
Is there anything you'd like to add, Eli,
Um,
from our meeting?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. So one of the things that we talked about was that we have this thing called a small business primer. I sent it to all of you maybe like 6 months ago, and then we didn't get to really go over it. We'll go over it in a minute. It is printed out not the way it's supposed to be, but that's okay. It's supposed to look like a booklet rather than like a bunch of papers on top of each other. So it's supposed to be a folded up thing, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So in talking with the Chamber of Commerce, we did, he was hoping that, we could give him something to give to his members to encourage them to get the conversation going. And so one of the other projects that we had a little subcommittee meeting was Jeff Brown was very nice and asked I can't even talk. Oh my goodness. You know, okay, where is he? Is he there? Oh yeah, okay, he's
Yeah.
just green. And it's okay, I just missed you for a second. I thought we closed you out. It came up just with a big list of possible accommodations, and so we weeded through it. We took a couple hours. We just weeded through it to come up with the ones that we thought were the most important. I wanted to have the bigger list. I've emailed it all to you, so you could maybe bring it up on a phone or something, but I wanted to have it here, but for whatever reason, Lindsay is not here to print stuff out, and in the office kept saying that they're not getting my emails. So when we go over the list, I don't have a visual for you unless you have it in your email and you want to pull it up on your phone. I feel bad that I do not have a visual. I think, Eli, do you have a preference which one we go over first, the small business primer or the list of accommodations?
I don't know.
You don't care. Okay, got it. Okay, so I think we'll just glance over the small business primer. And you said that you weren't able to bring it up, right? So
No, unless it's somewhere.
It's should be on the city
Oh, is it?
website, actually. Yeah, if you pull up just the city website, go to where it says departments, or sorry, government, my bad. Up at the top.
At the top. Sorry, where? Oh, I see. Okay.
It's government there, and then you're gonna go to boards and committees, the big list of boards and committees. And then scroll to list of boards and committees. Yeah, there you go, second one there.
Oh, list of boards and
Yeah,
committees.
link,
All
hit
right.
the link to page button, or yeah, there. And then scroll down for commission on
thank you
disability.
for knowing where that is.
Yeah,
I
link to
wasn't sure if
page.
it was still on there. It's been a long time.
And if you scroll down, it should still be there if you scroll all the way
Keep going?
down. Yeah, I
Right.
think the yeah,
Oh,
Right
this
there.
ADA information for small businesses.
I think that's it.
I think it's
While
that.
he's doing that, I can help him. Can you just say what the ADA thing is? That's just a brief, like I asked earlier. Just a brief, do you actually have
Oh,
it
no.
written in front of you, like if you read out, or is it a giant thing?
I mean, are you talking about what ADA is
Yes.
in general?
Right, because people are confused between ADA and accommodation. They think it's the same thing and it's not. So you could ask for an
Yeah.
accommodation and
Yeah.
people could say, that's not ADA, I don't need to follow that. So just a
Yeah.
brief little.
Yeah, I mean, ADA is the overarching law. So yeah, the initial version was passed, I think, in the late 90s. And there's been some changes and iterations. When it comes to accommodations, that doesn't necessarily mean the same thing as accessibility. Small businesses, in a physical sense, allowing people to enter the building or exit the building, having those safe ways for people to enter and exit, those kinds of things are the practical points that ADA really is more concerned with, building structure, architecture.
Keep going.
But yeah, just because something is maybe not ADA compliant, that doesn't mean that a business doesn't have a vested interest in providing certain accommodations. But especially for the city, if there are city events or things that the city sponsors, we have a responsibility to try to accommodate, residents, members of the public, and make it as accessible like as possible. Yeah, for people with disabilities to participate. So there's certainly, yeah, like they kind of go hand in hand, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But like ADA is more like the legislation that kind of outlines like, I guess a good way to put it is,
I just wanted you to read the definition.
oh, okay.
That's all.
Well,
Is it? So.
yeah, I
do you
mean-
have that, or if not, I pulled something up.
no, you can go ahead and read. Yeah,
I'm just saying ADA, the American with Disabilities Act, is a landmark civil rights law in the United States that prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities. It was passed in 1990, ensures that people with disabilities have the same rights and opportunities as everyone else in the area, like employment, state and local government services, public accommodations, and telecommunications. And so, yes, definitely it can get a little hairy in there because this is this is saying that it, you know, if you need an accommodation, we do it, but there's a lot of times there's things wrong with some buildings.
Yes, there are-
but they're legal. The buildings are legal even though they're not
Yeah.
following ADA. So
yeah, it depends on the establishment itself. Certain buildings, especially historic buildings, are going to fall under different like requirements than like a new development. So they do have like a responsibility to meet you know, like requirements and to like meet those accessibility standards. And there's like thresholds of like, okay, if we did this, like it would cost this much.
right,
Is
yeah.
that reasonable for
Right.
us to
But
accommodate?
there's also 2 brand new buildings that didn't follow ADA either. So you weren't here for that, but we had the people at the high school and the middle school, like people that had assessed it come in, and that's why not that we know everything, but we would love to be part of the process when things are
Yeah.
being built.
As you should be.
Because
That's,
I think they said even like the toilet paper roll holders were.
are they too high? or
Something
too
like
low?
that, and I was like, we're all like, how the heck does that happen? The school
Yeah.
just got built 5 seconds
Yeah.
ago, like, so.
No, I mean, you are commissioners, you are like the city, you are advocating for people with disabilities in the city. And if it's a school within city limits, like you have every right to be involved, I think, in that process.
Thank you.
First, Boston historically doesn't pay a lot of attention to Western Massachusetts.
In terms of what? Boston, you said? Why would they pay attention to us?
You mean the state government?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the city of Boston, sorry.
And second, I think we're facing the DOJ, the Department of Justice, is currently completely doesn't care about Massachusetts and is not going to take any action on our behalf.
Well, these are smaller things that are not at that level. These are things that are supposed to be handled with, like,
These are within
these are
the
like,
city's purview.
yeah, not so much bigger, but I do get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. but-
Pessimistic about some of
No,
the
it's
assumptions.
it's
here.
okay. Okay, so a primer for small businesses. I don't actually, just the history of it, I don't actually know where we pulled this out of 100%. This was, I don't even know, 10 years ago, 8 years ago? Eli, do you remember?
I-
No.
Sorry.
It was so long ago.
Yeah.
And again, I said it's in the wrong shape. It's supposed to be printed out. So it's a thing, and then we have it on the table, and we can give it to businesses for free at, like, if we have a table at farmer's market. But we're just gonna go over it. I will just give a shout out we did have a commission member. Her name was Alita Kennedy. She's my next door neighbor. She did pass away. But she did a lot of the artwork. Like there was some basic artwork. She's an artiste. And she went in there. She spent a lot of hours. So I don't remember what it looked like before. She didn't draw everything by hand, but she went in there and she dedicated her time. It was hours upon hours. So she, just a little shout out. Okay. So the purpose of this, at the time, the commission, was less known than it is now. People really did not know that we were around at all. We were unsure what we could do to help the city. And so this was the time. See, we've transformed a little bit since I became chair. So at the time, all we did handle was, because this is what our job is whether or not the city and the buildings are following these particular guidelines. And so then when I became chair, I wanted it to encompass mental illness and learning disabilities and everything. And so we kind of, we went in all different directions to make sure we were covering a lot of stuff. But at the time, it was just about buildings. And so there were several buildings. I remember, and in particular, I believe it was Burger King. And when you go to open a door, it can't weigh more than a certain number of pounds. And people were struggling with it. Same with the door at Walgreens, which Walgreens is not open anymore. Can they, online, can you guys see this? Connie and Jeff? Can you click on them to see if they're even still there?
Yeah, they're here.
Okay. You can see, okay. All right.
Connie just signaled that she could hear us.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to read the overview real quick. The purpose of this guide is to educate small business owners in Easthampton on how to accommodate individuals with disabilities in their place of business. Architectural, communication, programmatic, and policy barriers prevent people from participating fully in society. People with disabilities cannot assume that they can use common public spaces such as stores, banks, offices, and restaurants, or participate in ordinary activities such as working, getting an education, visiting friends, and attending community events. Most non-disabled people take these freedoms for granted. Accessibility means much more than ramps for wheelchair access. People with all types of physical, sensory, cognitive, and other disabilities must be ensured equal access to facilities, services, and programs. People with disabilities must not be discriminated against through structural barriers, unequal policies and practices, or inaccessible means of communication and dissemination of information. So this goes right along with our ordinance that we want to work on going forward. So
I got a question. Professor.
yeah,
Our library
yep,
is problematic,
yep.
and I haven't been to the new building,
Me neither.
but it's something we should maybe.
Yeah,
meet
they've
with
been
them.
invited many times, so we're just waiting.
You're talking about the library, like here in Easthampton, the like older historic building.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, they've been evaluated. I don't know if you had a chance to look over that transition plan that I sent you, but there's been recommendations made for that building a number of times.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Do you know if those would be answered by the new building?
That I'm not entirely sure. I haven't been to the annex. I'm not sure.
It might be a former bank building.
I'm not certain.
It is a former bank building. But I don't think it's replacing the current library. I think it's just an annex to it.
My guess is that they're going to end up. It'll be more than an annex.
Could be.
I can see it becoming their main building. Sorry, somebody who uses and loves the library.
Okay. This being a stand is on or not on. Okay. So, so let's see. I would like folks to, I know I emailed it to you, but I would like folks to take this home, and if they have a few minutes, go over it. See if there's something that you're dying to have in here or something that you would really want corrected. You can hold on a second with my child. I'm so sorry. Serenity, I'm in a meeting. Yes, you can go home. Yep, you have permission. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, so we'll go over a lowered countered floor and a clear floor spaces that are critical components of accessible service of an accessible service counter, right? There's some place like, I think people mentioned the Big E where like a lot of people wouldn't be able to roll through on their devices or things like that. Right, the next one, right, it just shows that things, maybe you can't reach things, so you would need to have somebody that would be, you don't want to be rolling all over the store. Somebody help me, because the point of us working on this is that the folks with disabilities are just more normal, just part of, people just feel bad asking for help and they're embarrassed and they're stressed, and we want to do what we can to work on having that not be such a sometimes traumatic thing for them. So,
And I think also sometimes people who are like typically abled just don't even think of what someone with a disability might need or want. I think just bringing attention to it, I often think people are good intentioned, but they don't even, they can't even imagine what someone might need.
Or they can't raise the money to give city space here.
what do you mean they can't raise the money? They just raised a lot of money to do something, so.
To make accommodations.
Right. Yes, okay. So, and there's also folks that have disabilities that actually don't know they have disabilities or they don't consider themselves disabled. So that's another thing. They might need help with something and then they don't understand that, technically that falls under like the Disabilities Act or what have you. So this is the next one. Now we're down on the third one down. An accessible route that allows customers to go. That's what we were just talking about. I don't even know if we're allowed to call out stores and stuff in this meeting, are we? I don't know.
That's a good question. I don't think
know.
that I can answer.
I know. Well, there's a store locally
If
where people
Connie-
feel like the carts are always out there to fill up the food, and so like they can't get through the aisles to fill up the food because the carts are there.
Yeah,
That's a common one I've heard.
yeah. Have you guys, and I don't know if Connie's listening in, but have you guys had like almost like an open roundtable discussion, like with the public, like trying to kind of advertise like yourselves in a way of saying like, basically like if there are businesses or
Yes.
spaces
I've
like,
done it maybe 40 times on Facebook,
yeah,
literally 40 times. So like I invited them to come to the meeting or asked them to write.
no, I
something.
don't mean like this meeting. I mean like it almost is like a round table, like an event, like maybe you
I
guys
don't know
are
if
like
I'm allowed to
hosting.
do that. I have to check.
Okay.
But
I think it could be interesting because you're supposed to have a way, the city itself, if you have a grievance or there's a building or a place in the city that people have a complaint in terms of accessibility, there's
Yes.
supposed to be a formalized process and there's supposed to be someone that they can reach out to with those concerns. So
I
maybe-
just asked Dylan about that actually, because in the past it was an email to Jeff Bag.
Uh-huh.
And then, so I did just ask Dylan like, hey, so whose address is it now? But also that like, that's a whole nother, that email then takes a route, I think, to Boston, to the Massachusetts Office of Disability.
It-
And then, Yeah.
Well, yeah, there is like a formalized process and the city of Easthampton like has to have one established and we do. But oftentimes commissions can also appoint like almost like a representative or like a person that can kind of be the like point person. Obviously, your ADA like coordinator is going to be working hand in hand with the commission, but there's also like an individual within this committee.
We were never told that. We were just said it had to be Jeff.
Yeah, well, I mean, the ADA coordinator would have to be involved, but they're like, let's just say that somebody maybe feels more comfortable reaching out to a member here, you know, their information being provided, could also be another avenue to
Right, so that was
explore.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is for the past
I
2 years,
can
it was
think of-
me. Yeah.
An example in this building of a meeting. It was on the third floor, on the top floor,
Mhm.
and a friend of mine tried to attend it.
Mhm.
And
Was this the thing at night and they couldn't do the elevator?
couldn't get in.
Right, because the doors were locked and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the mayor's response was, but I know she got back to you. I don't remember if it,
I believe as it stands right now, like
I
with
think
the
it was a
current
certain door that was open.
security policy is that the only entrances you can use after business hours are the front entrance and the elevator vestibule entrance.
To be accommodating.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Entrance, that entrance, the elevator would be the only one that would be open after hours as opposed to this back one.
Can I chime in with something kind of relevant?
Yes, please, yeah.
Okay. So what Jeff Bagg always used to say, and one of the problems with having the commission be like a place to channel grievances, and one of the importance, so the planning department and and therefore the COD have absolutely no jurisdiction over private businesses. We just we only have jurisdiction over Title I accommodations. The public things the public is directly involved in.
Right.
So therefore, the fact that Family Dollar has, and it's okay to name, Family Dollar has carts all over the aisles, we can't do a damn thing about. We can like shake our fingers and but the city has no control over that. It is there's state agencies that do. But one of the this is the this is one of the reasons we want to have some form of language about accessibility somewhere in our city permitting process, and that's why we would want would want an ordinance. That's kind of one of the points to like streamline disability requests, because we don't we have no control over whether things are accessible at all, and it's also a little bit of a slippery slope to make us a place to channel people's complaints about public accommodations like stores and stuff, because we can't do a damn thing about it, and then people just get frustrated with us.
All right.
So what would the answer be for the city to remove permits?
We have to discuss that later because we have
Sorry.
things we have to get through. So we could talk about that after. So this one, the next one on the next page, service animals, provide a lot of different assistance. This is one of my pet peeves because, man, do I love animals, but your emotional support animal is not a service animal. That's a big difference. That is something that will be on an agenda in the future. It was on an agenda a couple years ago.
So maybe that should say something like license. Is there a license for it? Licensed service animals?
We're gonna have to figure that one out because I know that you have to have papers, but you're not allowed to ask the person for the papers. I think you're allowed to ask the person what the service provides. And also emotional support animals are a particular kind of animal too. And nowadays, right, you can buy anything online that says that your dog that even bites people's legs is a it's like, it's just getting a little silly out there. And so, so yeah, we're gonna, I'm gonna check that one, that we have to revisit that. Devices categorized as wheelchairs must be permitted. You know what that would mean?
I think it means that you have to allow someone using.
Oh, permitted,
Permitted.
Yeah.
not
permitted.
with a permit,
Yes.
allowed.
Permitted, must be
Yeah.
allowed.
Wow, Angelique needs a rest, clearly.
No,
Oh my
you
goodness.
could read it either way.
like
It's one of those words.
Because a golf cart, you have to be 16 to drive, so that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's one of those
For a
words
little
like
humor.
Polish and polish, right?
Yes, oh my goodness.
I always thought it was polished pottery.
Yeah.
And then someone said it and I was like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
Polish pottery makes much more sense.
Exchanges of written notes may be appropriate for casual interactions. That's an interesting one. What was that? Did somebody raise their hand or is it? I don't know.
Let me see.
Or is that my phone? Like, who the heck knows what's
I
on
think
it?
that was a phone.
Okay.
I think the problem with, sorry, Angelique, I think the problem with that though, and there wasn't double here. This is so old that it doesn't cover emails.
So this is in person. So I hear what you're saying. I believe that this is like in person, like if you don't understand me, I can write it down and vice versa.
So maybe to
So-
acknowledge the times it should say exchanges of written or typed notes.
Yeah, we'll put that. So these,
There's an example of city council where somebody was censured for for harassing other members by email or text during meetings. That's Easthampton.
who says they were, I mean, well, what's harassing? And like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
I
I'll just tell you names privately because
Oh,
I think,
I'm.
I think here we're talking about, yeah, I think here we're talking about how to communicate with deaf people.
Right, in general, yes,
Yeah.
yes, right. So again, when you guys are, I want you to go over this at home, but we're just going over it briefly here. Complex transactions will likely require more formal means of communication like a sign language interpreter. That's worded interestingly. So I'm gonna put a little mark next to that one. Complex transactions.
Connie is raising her hand.
Go ahead, Connie.
Hi, sorry, I have another meeting. So I just wanted to let you know that I appreciate all the work that you all are doing on this. I just didn't want to hop off without kind of letting you know I had to jump off. So appreciate all of you for going over this, and I'll reach out soon to kind of discuss where you all come up with this. Okay?
Yes.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Connie.
The next one, businesses must answer calls placed through the telephone, the relay service, the TTY. Yes, I'm wondering if there's some, like you said, with the email, that might be an updated one. We'll look at reading a menu to a customer who is blind is one way to provide effective communication. Also, I know we said large menus. Like I said, this is just like a little introduction to get people thinking. The primer is not the full list, and we're going to go over what we came up with too. So snow or other debris in accessible parking spaces and accessible aisles must be removed. Boy, do we talk about that one a lot. Yes, please. Well, I'm gonna mark that one because we would need to talk about what happens when it's not. Oh my goodness. So the next one, accessible entrances must be provided. I would say and labeled. The high schools is in the back. Nobody knows that the push button is in the back. That, to my knowledge, there's still no sign that says the push button's in the back, and it's a little odd Do you know that it's in the back? And there's no
yeah.
handicap parking in the back either, to my knowledge.
Are you talking about over here in
High
this? Oh, in the high school.
Yes.
Oh, that
Angelique, you
Yep,
know what?
you went to
We-
the high school.
We tried to get the handicap button because I would eat outside.
Yep.
Back there, and there was one that was in the building.
Mhm.
There was not another one in the outside the building.
What?
So we tried to
Oh, wow, I didn't know.
call you guys,
There.
but they said that it would be a code violation.
Right, and, right, I don't have a comment on that, because I was not, when you were in high school, I don't think I was on the commission, I'm not sure. But thank you, I will look into that again, because I thought there was one on the outside, but the problem was there's no sign or no
I
parking.
was about to say, typically they need
no,
some
no.
kind of like, you need a wayfind, like some sort of wayfinding, something
Yeah, there's
posted in
nothing, yeah.
visibility,
Yeah.
that people can see where to access.
Yes, okay, next one, when barrier removal is not possible, alternatives such as curbside service should be provided. Yeah, and that's, and we did a lot of that during the pandemic, but like a lot of, sometimes people wouldn't come outside, so that one's a tough one too, but. So that's just a little something, we're gonna put that aside for a minute. We're gonna,
I just want to say that if the time comes that we want to get this printed in a booklet format, I know how to do that.
okay,
Like to set it up, to send it to a printer.
it was in that, I think it's because they put it on the website that they changed the font. So you can read
They
it like
probably
that.
removed it from that and put it into just a basic like PDF, like rich text, so that it would be readable for like a text reader or something of that nature.
So I know how to put it back into that if we get to that
Put it
point.
into like the
Like a booklet form,
design,
yeah.
I can't remember the thing, but yeah, I know what you're talking
design.
about, the software that creates the design.
So, because we started late, so I'm just gonna time out for 1 second. I'm just gonna go over these other things that address them because we don't actually have anything. So current events, Stan is supposed to bring us current events, but he's not here. So that one, is off the table. So at one point we had a community survey and we want to do another community survey. So, and that will be a subcommittee. So we obviously don't have time to talk about it today. But it'll definitely be on the next agenda about going forward, and we'll look at our old survey, and we have fresh faces on the commission. So
Do we have a copy of the old survey?
yeah, it's everywhere. It's online, and it should be in your email a bunch of times because you were around when that was going on. So I could try to find it and send it to you again. So that everybody has that.
Because my email is up.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I totally get it. Mine does weird things too. So, again, we're still recruiting new members. I think we still have 4 spaces. I feel like it's 5 spaces. There's somebody that said they were joining. And then somebody named Bonnie, and I think it didn't end up working out or something of that nature. So maybe you're right. World Disability Day event. I think we mean well and we'd like to do something. I have no idea it's gonna happen like this year, because now that's just September. That's just October, November, and then it's just 2 meetings to do an event at night. So I think we'll have to much more plan for 2026 about doing something, if that's okay with everybody, because I don't think 2 meetings is enough to come up with a
Yeah, I think we
With
need
a
the
thing.
whole year.
Future speaker ideas and requests. Obviously, I'm always open to those. I did want the current interim mayor to come in and just introduce himself for a few minutes today, but he was busy. Not talk about the mayoral race, but to come in and say hi. But he was busy, so I'm not sure if we'll have that happen in the future. Let's see. Is that Yeah,
You
I
had
was
said
wondering.
that you were gonna ask me to talk about any emails or,
Oh, yeah. So from going forward, because you're the clerk, could you just update us every time if there's an email or anybody said anything on Facebook?
I will, and there's nothing right now, and I got a new phone, so I'm now again locked out of the email. So I was hoping either you or Eli could
Yeah.
meet with me after the meeting. to
Absolutely.
Get me back in. Yes, I can fix that, but I have to do it.
The other thing is the information. So, when Eli and I were meeting with Connie, off the top of my head, I was, because they were referring to different ordinances, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, like, I'm like, we're the commission, and like, I'm not even sure that we know what ordinances there are in Easthampton that already exist that have anything to do with disabilities. And so you sent a couple, can you just read like one line from it that would describe it? Because these are long. I emailed them to all of you, but
Yeah.
like,
I don't have those. I'm sorry, I don't have those like on me.
I did ask them to print them out, but again,
Yeah.
it like somehow it wouldn't
They're
go.
they're all available, and I can send the email to anyone who wants it. But I know as it stands right now, the only ordinances really that are a part of like the city. I know there's like just the general discrimination like resolution that the like council has passed multiple years. Like I said in the email, there was before it was the commission and it was the disability awareness
Mhm.
committee.
Yeah.
There was passage of a Massachusetts general law to allow the like fund collections for the like accessible parking or handicap like
And
violations.
Stan has been bringing that up consistently, and then
Yeah.
we kind of get met with a, like, that can't happen.
Right. So I
So
know
that'd be
that I know that it was passed at that point. I think that there is some potential
Revisit.
collaboration that can be done on trying to navigate the creation of that account. I think it would probably be important to speak to public safety officers and get a sense of like what if how many of these violations they actually have. And I think if they have a significant amount, that's, good baggage for you to say we need this account. But yeah, aside from that, I'm trying to think. There's some stuff obviously from like a planning or like zoning perspective about, like city housing and making sure that, everyone is considered and treated like equally. And then Connie, of course, is working on the like affordable housing like partnership. And I know that kind of like ties in because it's, obviously like when you make affordable housing, it should be accessible for all sorts of individuals to have. And so I know there's some stuff in there, but yeah, I mean, aside from your like rules that I think you guys established in 2017, there's not a lot of like just hard, fast like ordinances on the books for you all.
So Leslie, can you write down that we need to go over the rules from 2017?
Yes.
We need to also revisit the complaint process. And oh man,
We invite Ed Conniff as a speaker.
can we what?
Could we invite Ed Conniff to a meeting?
To do what? What would she do?
She would have the history of that.
That's Connie. So Connie is the one that's helping us right now with anything disability related. So if we invite like sure, Peg could come, but Connie's the one that's kind of like taking time out to help us with disability stuff. So I can ask Connie if because there was also Felicia who joined us. So is it just because you like Peg or is there something?
No, I was trying to figure out the timing. And who was on the city council then, and I don't think.
When? At the same time as what?
Somebody said 2017.
Right, that was when we did, it was, the commission did it. I was on it and we came up with some rules at the time, yeah.
Pretty
That
sure
was,
Connie wasn't.
I don't think
That
Connie
was
wasn't, and that was Mayor Cadger at the time, so.
Yeah. I can, I mean, it's in the like city clerk's office, like anything that you pass, there's like, I can give you the rundown of like the process it followed, but yeah, it's,
So, I wanted to volunteer for something. I looked at the materials that you sent, that you put together and that you sent, and, there was just so much, like, really good information in there. So I was gonna volunteer to kind of make, like, break it into a more concise form. And I was thinking I might break it into, like, questions that I have after looking through it,
Okay.
action items that we might want to take up,
Mhm.
and then follow up, because there were a lot of things like there were recommendations made.
Yes. Yeah.
Were they ever followed up on?
Right.
So I thought if I would volunteer, I could volunteer to like go through that and like kind of organize it for us.
Yeah.
I think I need like 2 months for that.
That's fine. That's fine.
yeah,
It
I'm
was-
surprised that
appreciate that.
you all didn't have access to the information before. And I know I kind of just like dumped documents. I have in my own spare time been trying to also like parse that down, but I just wanted you to have it like as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was
So,
really
yeah,
helpful.
I think that would be great. And I think that like following through on some of the like recommendations and action items, there are multiple departments which will be involved in that. And that is something you guys can kind of spearhead.
Yeah,
So,
because there were things in there that we've even discussed today that have definitely been brought up, and the question is, were they followed up on?
yeah.
Right. And who and why.
Right.
So for the agenda for next month, we definitely have to talk about snow removal
Okay.
and also the PTSD panel. So we're supposed to end the meeting now, but we started 15 minutes late because we had some technical issues. Is there anybody here that's willing to stay so we can go over this list quickly?
I
Or does
can.
everybody have to leave?
Me should stay.
Okay, fantastic. And I do not think that we are stealing the room from anybody.
No, you don't have anyone in the room until
Okay.
you're good.
Oh, that door's open. Okay, so, would you mind down there closing the door real quick? I didn't realize it was open this whole time. Not that it's confidential, we just don't want to bother folks down the hallway, so.
That's fair.
Okay, all right, so this is the part of our accessibility ordinance. So originally, what we wanted to do, remember, is we wanted the restaurant or the business or the event to have some sort of list to pick from so that they're not just like pulling stuff out of their head, because people typically only think about wheelchairs, ramps, and push doors. And so it was a giant list. It was broken down by category. I took some notes. Man, they're hard to read. Clearly, this is why I should not be the note taker. And so we're just gonna go over them. And so, like I said, like if we like this list, and we'll put it on next agenda too. If we like the list, it'll probably go with the primer, or maybe we'll email it to people, or it'll be part of the opening talking points with the Chamber of Commerce when they have a business joint. Okay, so the first thing was mobility and physical access. And so obviously we had the accessible parking, right? We had the elevators, and we had the accessible restrooms. We had the automatic doors at the ramp, right? These are the general things. And the one that was a little bit different was the unisex restroom. Now, these are not, you have to have these. These are, if you have them or don't have them, please let us know. Meaning on your website, let us know. Because unisex bathrooms or non-gendered bathrooms are definitely important to a lot of folks.
Absolutely.
So how we feel about that? Is there anything we feel that's super missing from that one? The mobility and physical access.
I feel like, just saying accessible parking or accessible whatever, people might not know what it means to be accessible. Like we might want to add detail to that.
Yeah, do you have an idea of what kind of detail?
Well, like, so accessible parking means that there's a clear space to unload, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we want to put
Get
that,
some extra words in there to make sure
Right.
it's very, 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 very clear.
right.
Got it. Okay, checking that one off. The next one was seating and dining. And so there was only two from the list. One was table space for a wheelchair. And the other was priority seating, meaning if you are a person that has mobility issues, you might be able to get a seat before someone else. I personally have used this type of thing, not in Easthampton, but other places. It's humiliating because as you're walking by, people are like,
Yeah.
how come? Wait, I've been sitting here for 20 minutes. And then if you don't look disabled, then you feel even more stupid. So that's, it can be hard to have disabilities. It's not the easiest and invisible ones. So those are the two. Some priority seating could mean something a little bit different than that too. I think it talked about, wheelchairs, but like, yeah, do you remember if there was something else under priority seating besides like skipping the line? Or like getting seating up front if you can't hear, so you have it up front.
Like being able to maybe having space for wheelchairs in like aisles and stuff. Was that included?
I
That
don't
would be like, or not in aisles, but like, how in movie theaters, you don't have to sit in the aisle to like, you don't have to have your wheelchair in the aisle.
right. So this said table space for wheelchair, but it could in a movie theater, right? It could be just
Spaces
regular
accommodated
space.
for like mobility aids.
right.
Or, are the tables high enough to accommodate a wheelchair underneath? That's another big one. I don't know. I'm just.
Perfect. Love it. Okay.
Okay.
Then we had vision and blindness, and so this was sort of towards menus. So they talked about large print, QR codes, Braille, and like digital menus. But then if you remember, we put it together under accessible menus,
Right.
right? So it would all go under one thing.
It could also, it impacts this building, meetings in it. And somebody, there was a meeting upstairs.
Mhm.
I had a friend who wanted to hear me, access it,
Mhm.
and couldn't because it was held. I think we touched on this. It conflicted with public safety and whether
This is just about written stuff. This one is just about written. So this is what we're talking about right now. So we're talking about vision and blindness.
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, and so they couldn't access
The
the building
Because
because,
it closed at 8 and that the elevator.
so
didn't work.
that's a different issue. So what we're currently discussing is menus and written material. So like we're even guilty of it. Like if one of you, so going forward, I feel like I want to print out agendas, but then when we print out stuff, not everybody like wants pieces of paper. So I get caught in the middle. Like, should I print out agenda? Should I not? And then if somebody here needed a larger print agenda, they would need to let me know ahead of time, right? So that's the type of thing we're talking about. So not being able to get in a building, that's some other
Okay,
issue.
if it's another issue, then City of Easthampton, I mean, we're effectively in City Hall right now.
Yeah,
And it's not I have an example where it was not accessible.
right, but that's not what we're talking about right now. And then you addressed it earlier that it is accessible. You said after 8.
And the meeting started at 8.
I'm not familiar with a meeting having started that late. I know sometimes school committee or other committees have
Run
like later
late.
meet, they run late. But I
Yes,
know
so-
that there is now a number listed on the front door that if you are wanting to meet after hours and you need to get in contact with someone to let you in if you're having issues, then there is now a number very available on the front door and on the website as well.
Can you just put that in there so that we know, I can put it on the agenda? But what does the vision have to do with it? I'm unsure, because you're saying the door's not
Angela,
locked.
what do you want to put on the agenda?
What time the doors are open,
Okay.
who you contact if the doors are not open. that
Yeah,
just-
so I believe it's 5 or 5:30, like that is it's no longer open to the public for like public services. If you're there for like a meeting after hours, then you're supposed to use the elevator or the front door. If you cannot use either of those for some reason, then there is a number of someone to contact so that you can get in.
But them getting in, the door being locked, what does that have to do with vision? Because that sounds like they can't see the door or they can't find the door. I'm
It
sorry.
wasn't staffed, and should there be, it was not staffed, and should there be public meetings?
The door, I don't think has ever been staffed nor ever will.
Committees that are
Yeah.
meeting after hours, it's usually volunteer stuff, so.
But again, what would the staff person be providing? Because this is about vision and
Guidance,
blindness.
like you had to go around from the front to the side.
So they're having a hard time seeing, so they would need somebody to walk with them to the,
Or to talk to them,
okay.
I think you could still
because otherwise
utilize
it's not
the,
a public meeting.
So now you've mentioned a staff person. That's a thing we could discuss.
Yeah.
But when you brought this up, we were talking about menus. So
I'm
that's okay.
I'm not sure where
I
this
hate to
goes in.
bounce on you guys, but I actually have
Bounce
to, I'm
away.
so sorry.
It's okay.
If you need me,
This
you
is
have my
taking-
email address, please feel free
Yes.
to reach out to me at any
You've been
time.
great. Thank you so much.
Yes, have a good
So this was also audio described performances. That's the machines, correct? We're talking about the hearing devices. Yep. We're not actually talking about, so that would be, some might be like when you go to the zoo, they're pre-recorded, right? And then there's some that would have to happen live, right?
I guess so.
Right, so if somebody can't, all right, so okay, so the next one was actually hearing and communication. So we had captions. We had, remember, these are things that could be listed. Yes, we have captions. Yes, we have captions for this movie coming out. No, we don't have captions. Like, this is how we gotta think. ASL interpreter, obviously. Written copies. What was the written copies on? Jeff, written copies. Jeff took a nap. Eli, so written
Copies, a menu maybe?
No, this was under communication, so maybe,
Written
what
copies of
what we're
like a
doing today.
rule or
like I gave a
a
copy for.
guide or a tour or something like that, maybe?
Right,
Written copies of
That makes
information
sense.
instead
Right.
of spoken.
right, and I, like today, when I gave the primer, a written copy. Okay, all right, so the next one is actually part of the what we've been asking for, a contact person. So, let's see. This is talking about a quiet breakout room. Do you remember us talking about that, Eli?
Yeah, that was pertaining to autism, sensory friendly space.
List whether or not you have headphones. I know you said most folks have their own headphones because they're already experiencing the struggles, so they have their own, but list whether or not you have headphones there. What was it, the light? Strobing, the lights flashing. there should be an acknowledgement of whether or not there will be, you know, like I know there's a drag show coming up. Like, is there going to be light splashing?
Absolutely. Going way back with epilepsy.
The next one had to do with food. So obviously list if you're gluten-free, dairy-free, allergy-free. We did talk about a flexible reentry policy.
Jeff, were you trying to say something?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
So a flexible reentry policy, I have been places that once you're in, you're in. And a lot of times it has to do with drinking. They don't want you to, for instance, go to a prom, leave, go get drunk, come back to the prom, all drunk.
Wow.
All right, we don't want that. So flexible. I also went to a concert one place and you know, they were like, sorry, like you're either in or you're out. It didn't happen in Easthampton, but I'm aware of it. And so for someone with disabilities that maybe need to use the bathroom more frequently or things of that nature, a flexible reentry policy was one that seemed important to us. The next category was service animals. So again, we would need to state the policy on what a service animal is, what a emotional support animal is, and the difference. And that's definitely something I want to investigate more on, because people are saying, well, but I'm anxious, so I need my emotional support animal. But then that also, how's that work when this person's afraid of dogs
Or allergic.
Oh, right. Yes. So like the job that we have cut out for us is so right. It's like we're helping one person and we could be hurting somebody else. So hard to make everybody feel comfortable. We're almost done here. So digital and tech. This was just talking about online menus so that you could look ahead of time. And this, why does it just say accessible events, digital and tech? I don't know why it just says that. That's so silly.
Accessibility in Easthampton is very dependent on like a PVTA.
So maybe, because I know there's some people that don't use smartphones at all, and that's their choice. And then the world thinks they're being helpful by having everything be a QR code, and then that is isolating some people that's not helpful. So then we went down, we have tickets and entries. So refund for accessibility, meaning if you get sick, you're right. Like unfortunately, a lot of times you have to buy insurance. So if you get sick, you can get your ticket money back because you can't go because of your illness. So that was important. Companion tickets should be free or discounted, or that's what we talked about, right? Because if you need to have a companion, push your wheelchair or what have you, maybe your companion really hates the play and doesn't want to go to the play, but now, but they need help. So,
Well, to be clear, like, these are just like options, like
yeah.
Right.
things that you could list
Yep, right.
as
Yeah.
as accessibility
You can get over?
features.
Yes, we do.
Thank you so much for being here.
So what Eli just said.
Yep.
I feel like everything on this list is like, tell us if you do this,
Yeah.
except for the contact person, which is, we're saying, we really want you to have this.
Yep.
So I feel like those are almost two different things.
They are. This this contact person was listed under one of, since it was like a 200-page thing. So, shorter lines. And I know some events that I've gone to, I've been given a disability sticker. Therefore, I don't have to say anything. Therefore, I can just do what I need to do, and people are trained to. So that would be something. It'd be nice to know if some place had, you can come to this table, get a disability sticker. I don't know, show us your placard. I don't even know. I know that the pool in town said, oh, if you're disabled, you can, no, it said if you're handicapped, you can get in to swim. And I was like, I asked for a long time, like, what do you mean, a handicap placard or ADHD? Or what do you mean by handicap? Because that's kind of an old fashioned word that we, you know, that's another one. Can you write down? Because I really want to make sure going forward, whether or not we're really supposed to be saying disabled, handicap, differently abled. I just want to make sure we're saying the right, correct thing here. We just got like 3 more and then we're done, or 4 more. Oh boy. So we got under restaurants, we just had the curbside pickup, like it said in that thing. Menus that have photos, that would be great if they listed that. And of course, if you have regular straws, paper straws, what kind of straws you have. We put under events. It'd be great to know if there was an accessible paper map to some sort of event. As Maddie said earlier, wayfinding signs, like I don't know, going to Arcadia, it'd be great if there were, if there were signs that were going to tell you exactly, not these little tiny cute little things that look like a little woodpecker made that, right? That's not a wayfinding sign. It's very clear. It's very different than their little blend into the woods. So we don't want it to blend into the woods because then some people can't see it, right? So that would be very different to list that you have those. Whether or not you had scooters, or wheelchairs. Let me see.
Walking for them.
Yeah. And then I think the last area, so under emergency and safety, I think that I don't know if you should list this, but like, I don't know how to put this underwear, but medically, you're allowed to bring your own water and snacks. Some places don't want you to bring in your own food. If you're allergic to the food, you can't eat the food at the movie theater, you need to be allowed to bring in the food or whatever it is. So I'm not sure how we want to put that.
Would that apply to miracles?
Anywhere. Yeah, right.
I'm
Anywhere.
just trying to think
Yes.
because a lot of my experience is like
Yeah.
London and stuff, not useless, pretty irrelevant here. Airports.
So what about the marigold? Like what do you see the problem with it? Because I know they always put out water. So what would you,
I've never been there.
you've never been there
No.
to the marigold? Oh, okay.
But
I am gonna have to go soon.
This is my last thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get through them, but there's some questions. Yes. So
Accessibility, I can't drive at night.
that's not something that would go on a list though, right? Like how would that go on a list?
Right,
Like,
so everything on this list is like, we want businesses to tell us if they provide these things.
yes,
Okay, good
So-
start.
So, I mean, they can't say, we're gonna provide you an Uber so that you don't have to drive at night. Like that wouldn't be
No, I know that.
Right.
Transportation is,
right.
I'm finding very restrictive here.
All
Being
right.
in Easthampton and probably not.
So the last one was listing whether or not that they have staff training. So I don't think this is an accommodation listed. I think this is more of like a paragraph, like we have staff trained. As the way it listed it was clear communication. It's basically the person that we already said we wanted, but they were listing it like it was an accommodation, which obviously sensitivity for hidden disabilities, right? So this is staff training. I can't even speak. Staff that is trained. This is what we're asking. It was listed as an accommodation, but it shouldn't be listed under, it should just be a separate entity, right? We have staff, here's the person, right? Blah, 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 blah. So
I feel like we need to look at this list. I feel like what we need to provide to businesses is like a checklist. Go through this
is
list
the checklist.
and check off what you provide.
This is the checklist.
Right. And so I feel like we need to go through this list and say, is this something that they can just check off? Or is this something that is like, we're requesting it, or that they need, that's the lens I think we need to
Yep.
look at this
Yes.
list with.
Yes, so this needs to be
I
typed
agree.
up.
Still stuck on this actual building.
Yeah, this discussion is about the member businesses that Angelique and Eli spoke to the Chamber of Commerce to reach out to those businesses
Well, can we
to
put
try to
something
make
in
them
about
more
whether
accommodating.
City Hall itself
Yeah.
accommodates?
Yes. Right. So they would be no different. They would have to list if they had any of these things or if they don't have any of these things. So, I don't know if because you already volunteered for a million things, but like, if you want to help type this up with me, if you want to do this together, it's just chicken scratches. So that we can get this nice, so that they actually have something to go off of and check off.
Yes,
So sorry we went over, but we definitely started late. So,
yeah, and I'm sorry, I have to go
Time to
soon,
go.
but I want to set up the
yes,
Gmail.
you can go ahead and start that while I'm closing the meeting.
Okay.
So, okay, Jeff. So any closing comments before we close up the meeting today?
No, I think I'm good. I feel like a lot of this stuff has already been hashed out at our committee meeting. But you can definitely, it's great that Leslie's willing to go through with you and type it up. Yeah. Other than that,
The thing is, Jeff, I think there's like, I just want to make clear that even if we make decisions in a committee, we are not the final say just because we're on a committee, the whole committee.
yeah.
So,
I feel like I don't know. I mean, if I'm allowed to comment, I would love to. I think a lot of this and I had this pet peeve at work too. I think a lot of this reading things individually that are listed that people had in an email, it could be probably more summary by, hey, have you read the email?
yes, but I'm well aware that they haven't because I am asking
Yeah.
them so that they haven't. So that's why I
Yeah.
feel like I have to go over it. So I
Yeah,
agree with you.
it's true.
But also,
Okay.
the answer is usually no, they haven't read it, or it was overwhelming, and so they need someone to go over it with them. So I have been spoken to privately many times. So totally hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, it would save time, but especially because we're the Commission on Disability, we have to make sure we're meeting everyone's disabilities. All right. So the next meeting is October 9th. Where'd the year go?
I know,
Where'd the year go?
crazy.
Okay, so we're all okay with adjourning? Is there anything else that we need to go on next month's agenda? No? Okay, all right, so I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn. Anybody second?
Second.
Eli seconds.
Okay, and then everybody's okay with adjourning?
Yes.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.